There are moments in life when you suddenly feel as though an invisible hand has touched your shoulder. You cannot explain it with reason, nor reduce it to chance, because deep within your spirit you know it is something greater. To the chosen ones, this moment is not coincidence. It is a divine appointment. You are not here by accident, drifting aimlessly like a leaf in the wind. You were led here because heaven itself whispered your name. In the vastness of existence, where billions of lives move through the patterns of routine, there are souls marked with a different rhythm. They sense things others overlook. They feel the weight of silence more deeply and the ache of injustice more painfully. The chosen ones walk with an invisible thread tying them to eternity, even when they try to ignore it. Even when they attempt to hide in the ordinary, the call always finds them again, louder, clearer, unavoidable. This awakening is not about comfort. It is not a promise that life will be gentle. On the contrary, it is the reason why storms have followed you, why doors have closed in your face, why loneliness has often been your companion. Darkness recognized you before you recognized yourself. The struggles you endured were not proof of weakness, but signals that you were carrying something dangerous to the kingdom of shadows. To be chosen means to live with an inner fire that cannot be extinguished. Sometimes it burns quietly, almost hidden, like embers beneath the ashes. At other times it roars so strongly that you feel it might consume you entirely. Yet always, it pushes you forward, refusing to let you settle for a life of emptiness. The treasure within you is not measured in gold or silver. It is measured in purpose, in destiny, in the silent knowledge that you were sent here for more. This is your awakening. Not a gentle knock at the door, but a trumpet call from heaven reminding you, you are not ordinary. You are not lost in the crowd. You are the rare soul marked by eternity, and the world itself waits for the moment you will rise. Life has never been gentle with those marked by destiny. Perhaps you have wondered why the path before you has been filled with so many storms, why betrayals have cut deeper than knives, why solitude has so often wrapped itself around your heart like a cold cloak. But know this, it was never to break you, it was to forge you. The chosen ones are not shaped in the comfort of sunshine, but in the relentless fire of trial. Each wound you carry tells a story of survival. Every scar is an emblem of battles fought in silence, battles no one else may ever fully understand. And yet, despite the weight, you still stand. That is no accident. The storms that tried to drown you were, in truth, polishing you like rough stones turned into diamonds. They were not the end of you, but the process through which your true brilliance would emerge. There is within you a flame that cannot be smothered. At times it may seem small, hidden beneath layers of fatigue, discouragement, or fear. But even then, it never goes out. And when the winds of adversity blow hardest, that flame grows brighter, refusing to surrender. This is why you have not been consumed by the darkness. This is why you are still here, still breathing, still searching. You are not fragile. You are being tempered. Do not despise the nights of loneliness or the moments when the world misunderstood you. Those seasons were the furnace in which resilience was birthed. While others lived sheltered lives, you were refined in fire. And though that fire was painful, it was also holy, for it prepared you to carry what ordinary souls could not. Chosen one, you are more resilient than you realize. The very storms you thought would destroy you have, in fact, revealed the unshakable core within. That inner flame is your inheritance, the divine spark entrusted to you. And no betrayal, no rejection, no chain of circumstance has the power to extinguish it. For it is not sustained by the world, it is sustained by heaven itself. Long before you ever realized the weight of your calling, your adversary already sensed it. The spiritual world often recognizes greatness before the person themselves awakens to it. And so the attacks against your life did not begin when you became strong, but when you were still fragile, unaware, unprepared. That is why some of your earliest memories carry the taste of struggle, rejection, or confusion, because darkness perceived a destiny you had not yet discovered. The enemy does not waste effort on the empty. He does not surround lives that carry nothing. He strikes at you precisely because you are dangerous, even if you do not yet feel it. To him, your potential is a threat. Your hidden treasure is unbearable. He fears not what you are today, but what you are becoming tomorrow. And so, before you can step fully into your calling, he throws obstacles, betrayals, and fears in your path, hoping to stop you before you realize who you truly are. Think of this. When you doubted your worth, the enemy trembled. When you felt small and insignificant, he saw the crown of destiny hovering over your life. This is the paradox of being chosen. Your struggles are not a sign of emptiness, but of significance. Hell does not chase shadows. It chases light. Understand this truth. The opposition against you is not random. It is targeted. It is the desperate attempt of darkness to silence a voice that has not yet spoken, to bind hands that have not yet built, to bury dreams that have not yet been born. But what the enemy fears most is not your weakness. It is the moment you open your eyes and see yourself as heaven already sees you. So do not interpret your battles as abandonment. Instead, read them as confirmation. They are signals that your life is marked, your soul is noticed, your path is radiant with divine intention. The very pressure you feel is proof that there is something within you worth contending for. And when you finally awaken to it, when you dare to see yourself as chosen, the enemy's greatest weapon against you loses its power. For he has always feared the day you would discover what he already knew, that you carry something eternal, and nothing can take it from you. On the surface, you may appear ordinary. To those who pass you in the streets, you seem fragile, flawed, vulnerable to the same sorrows that touch every human life. You work, you stumble, you bleed, and you weep like everyone else. And yet, this appearance is only a mask, a necessary veil that conceals something infinitely greater within. This paradox has existed since the beginning of time. Heaven often hides its treasures in vessels that seem unremarkable. Clay jars, fragile bodies, humble beginnings. These are not mistakes, but deliberate choices. For if glory were dressed in majesty from the start, men would worship the vessel instead of the treasure. And so, the divine hides strength in weakness, immortality in mortality, eternity in flesh. It is a design meant to remind us that the source of the power is not human, but heavenly. Do not be deceived by how fragile you may look in the mirror. Beneath the weight of limitations, there lies a power that is unshakable. Your humanity does not diminish your calling, it amplifies it. It is the proof that what flows through you is not born of your own strength. Even your moments of breaking are part of the mystery, for in them the light within shines more clearly. The world may dismiss you because it sees only the mask. They call you weak, insignificant, or unworthy because they cannot perceive the treasure hidden inside. And in some ways, that misunderstanding protects you. It ensures that when you rise, it will be unmistakably God's doing, not your own. Chosen one, your ordinary appearance is not your curse. It is your covering. It allows you to move quietly, to grow silently, until the moment heaven unveils the fullness of your destiny. And when that unveiling comes, the same people who once underestimated you will marvel at the brilliance they never saw coming. Remember, the jar may look common, but the treasure within it is eternal. This contradiction is not an accident. It is the signature of heaven, written upon your life to remind you that the world may see only clay, but the divine has placed gold inside. The world has always been captivated by visible power. Men chase wealth, admire titles, and bow to strength carved from muscle or built on influence. They measure greatness by numbers in a bank account or by the applause of the crowd. And yet, history itself proves how fragile such power truly is. Kingdoms fall, fortunes vanish, bodies weaken, and reputations crumble. What seems unshakable today becomes dust tomorrow. But the chosen ones carry a different kind of authority, an unseen power that cannot be purchased, inherited, or stolen. It flows not from gold or armies, but from heaven itself. This spiritual authority transcends the limits of the physical. It is not bound by geography, not restricted by circumstance, not silenced by opposition. It is the quiet strength that allows you to stand when others collapse, the inner courage that speaks when the world demands silence. Consider this truth. The enemy is not terrified of material power. He has seen kings crowned and kings dethroned. He has watched the wealthy sink into despair and the mighty crumble into dust. What he fears is when a soul discovers its divine inheritance. For when you realize that you are armed with heavenly authority, every attack he launches becomes powerless. This is why chosen ones often live lives that confuse the world. People may wonder, how does this person, with so little in the eyes of men, continue to endure storms that destroy others? The answer is simple. Because your strength does not come from what you hold in your hand, but from who holds you. Understand this. You have been given access to a power no human empire could ever grant. A power that speaks to the unseen, commands the invisible, and walks through darkness without fear. It is the same authority that parted seas, silenced lions, and raised the dead. And it has been entrusted to you, not because of your wealth or your name, but because heaven has chosen you as its vessel. Chosen one, never underestimate this gift, for while the world runs after shadows, you have been armed with substance. And when you walk in this truth, you will see that no earthly throne compares to the authority already burning within your spirit. Storms have a way of revealing what calm seas never could. For most people, tempests are a sign of misfortune, a reason to despair, an omen that something has gone terribly wrong. But for the chosen ones, storms carry a different meaning. They are not curses, they are announcements. Each wave that crashes against you, each wind that threatens to tear you apart, is heaven's way of declaring, your crown is near. Look closely at the pattern of destiny throughout history. Before Moses led a nation out of bondage, he faced exile and rejection. Before David wore the crown of Israel, he wandered caves as a fugitive, hunted by the very king he was destined to replace. Before Joseph saved nations from famine, he was betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery. The storms did not appear to destroy them. They appeared to refine them, to strip away illusions, to prepare them for the weight of greatness. The same is true for you. The storms you endure are not accidents. They are prophetic markers. They reveal that you are carrying something too precious for an easy path. For greatness has never been birthed in comfort. It emerges in fire, in chaos, in struggle. Every tempest is heaven's trumpet declaring, "Do not give up, for your destiny is approaching." And here lies the paradox. The more violent the storm, the closer the crown. The heavier the opposition, the greater the throne awaiting you. If life seems unbearably hard, it is not because you are abandoned, but because you are chosen. Darkness rages fiercest, not where there is emptiness, but where light is about to break through. Chosen one, learn to see differently. Do not curse the storm. Let it remind you of who you are and what awaits on the other side. For the winds that howl against you today will one day testify that you were prepared, tested, and proven. And when the crown is placed upon your head, the storm will be remembered not as your destruction, but as the herald of your destiny. There comes a moment when silence can no longer be your refuge. A moment when you realize that walking in fear is a betrayal of the treasure entrusted to you. Chosen one, that moment is now. You have endured the storms, survived the betrayals, and carried wounds that should have broken you. Yet you remain. And because you remain, heaven calls you to rise. The greatest deception the enemy ever crafted was not chains of iron, but whispers of doubt. If he can convince you that you are powerless, you will live like a prisoner even when the door of the cell stands open. If he can persuade you that you are ordinary, you will bury extraordinary gifts under the dust of insecurity. But the truth is this: you are marked by eternity. The Spirit of God within you makes you unshakable. And once you awaken to this truth, no force of darkness can hold you. Your voice carries weight in realms unseen. When you pray, storms shift. When you declare truth, lies crumble. When you walk in obedience, chains fall not only from you, but from others bound in silence. This is why your awakening matters. It is not only for your survival, but for the freedom of many who are waiting unknowingly for your light. Stand tall, chosen one. Do not hide behind excuses. Do not shrink back into shadows. The world is not in need of more noise. It is in need of authenticity, of voices that carry fire from heaven. And that fire is in you. It has always been in you. Now is the time to live as more than a survivor. Live as a conqueror. Walk not with hesitation, but with boldness. Speak not with uncertainty, but with authority. The treasure you carry was never meant to remain buried. It was meant to shine, to heal, to transform. So rise, lift your head, step forward. For though the darkness roars, the truth remains unshaken. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. And when you walk in that reality, nothing, no curse, no rejection, no storm, can stop what heaven has already declared over your life.